11:23 on a Thursday, which means that it is time for Florida Weekly.
Eric Raditz is joining us from his office. Eric, we're glad to have you on this morning. Let's get right to it. The first subject you're really talking about is Florida's long and winding state road. Want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so there are probably more popular roads out there that get a lot more attention in Florida. Oh, I don't know, Alligator Alley or 75 or the Tamiami Trail. But this week we take a look at Florida's long and winding State Road 80. The road actually starts in downtown Fort Myers and makes its way all the way to Palm Beach, bottoming out actually right in front of Mar-a-Lago. If you've taken this route, you know it's been under construction, but what you may not know is that this week it ends a 35-year-old project to give the 123 miles of road 4 divided lanes. So some big improvements. We take the trip, we roll down the new road, and we meet some very interesting Floridians along the way in this week's cover story.
Can't wait to read it. So if you're anyone is like me, you see a notification on your computer that's like virus threat, make sure you do this. I usually just ignore it, but people are working from home now. So are they safe? Are they safe from these cyber risks?
Well, usually they're not safe from cyber risks. And so we have to take a look at how to make sure that we keep our cybersecurity in top-notch order this week, especially while we're working from home. How do we keep it safe? So we take a look at that with some tips from the experts, including on what to do with our passwords, which we should know, some software you can get, and some things not to click to keep your workflow rolling virus-free.
And Eric, I think a lot of people would agree that during this pandemic, we've kind of realize some things we probably take for granted every day. And in one of these sections here, you're going to be talking about views that we take for granted here.
Yeah, so we took a look at outside of our windows and we started thinking, we all have such a unique view from our windows, and there happens to be an architect and illustrator in New York, Matteo Pericoli, who specializes in taking this look. At one moment, he was looking out at his New York City window, and it made him realize the importance of each of our views and how unique they are. So he started drawing them, and his work got popular, and he started drawing them for friends and celebrities, and he's published a book about them. This one on the cover you're looking at is from Wynton Marsalis's place in New York City, by the way, that he drew. See some of his work and reflect on how our views can be so fascinating if we really take a good look.
Yeah, that's one of the things with the pandemic that, like you mentioned, it's the little things that you didn't really notice before because you were so busy, and then when you had some time, you got to sit out and just kind of realize, like, hey, I actually have a lot of blue jays in my backyard. Realized that until, the past few months.
All right,
they're everywhere.
All right.
You know what, though? Our next segment, favorite one, at least mine, staying home or going out, the new one. You're talking about David Schwimmer, at Ross on Friends, but he's not doing something with Friends?
Well, he is. Friends, as you know, went over to HBO Max, unfortunately. But he's coming out on a new series called Intelligence. In fact, we've seen a lot of streaming video platforms rising up that have just recently started. Disney Plus, for example, HBO Max, have all started within the year, but are in the top 5 streaming videos on demand platforms. But July 15th, a new one's coming out called Peacock. So it's if you like NBC shows, which I know I do, and I get a feeling you guys do as well, and you love Universal Pictures, some of the classics, it's all going to be put together in the Peacock streaming. And there's some new, fresh content from David Schwimmer, not as Ross and not with Rachel. He was on a break. But check out that and also what is new to stream on other platforms in this week's Florida Weekly, and a few places to go. Florida Weekly online, on stands, and on your device.
I see what you did there, Eric. All right, Eric, always a pleasure. We will see you next week. Thank you so much.